We're burning some nitro today. This is the S8 Rebel BX3 from LRP, who's a German company that used to be at the top tier levels of RC racing back in the day with their motors and ESCs. Now they're still around, but not in the same capacity, and they have this ready to run 8-scale buggy that seems like it could be a good entry-level way to get into Nitro Buggy racing, or maybe just to be a really cool 8-scale Nitro basher. Either way, let's crack it open, check it out, we'll break in the engine, and then we're gonna go drive it. So this seems pretty promising. And on the side of the box, it says we've got an LRP ZR21 pull start engine. Comes with a transmitter, has aluminum threaded shocks with little rubber boots. Says it has universal drive shafts, metal oil-filled diffs. We've got a high quality, waterproof 15 kg steering servo with metal gears. There's a race ready fuel tank that's at the right capacity. We've got a dual disc brake system, vetted brakes on the center diff. We've also got a full ball bearing set. It looks like most of them are sealed up. Aluminum front and right steering hubs. Hopefully we've got some Loctite on there. Says it's fully adjustable. We have adjustable turnbuckles, and then there's an extra strong front aluminum suspension arm brace. So the hinge pin mount is going to be aluminum, but only one of 4 is. We've got 4mm front and rear aluminum shock towers that are black anodized, and I believe also the chassis is 3mm aluminum. Kamikaze high grip tires glued on, 17mm hex. And then lastly, it's just saying that it's based on a competition chassis focused on maximum durability and adapted to low maintenance for everyday use. But if anybody out there has played with a Nitro car, you know Nitro is anything but low maintenance. Now, LRP actually sent us this car a few years ago. It's been a while now. And it's possible that in the time since they've sent this, the car has had some revisions, some updates. There are none that I'm actually aware of, but I'm just stating that in case anybody out there already has this car and noticed ours looks a little bit different. So we've got our car, we've got our transmitter that looks like it's got some basic steering dual rates, throttle dual rates, steering trim, reversing on steering and throttle. There's a throttle trim and then a bind button. The transmitter does require 4 AA batteries, and those are not included. And there's going to be a lot of things that are required to get this thing going. Also included is our receiver box. You can use this to power the vehicle with 4 AA's. A better way to go would just to be buy a Lifey, and then you can put that in the receiver box. We also have our air filter, the boot, the housing, the whole assembly, and then some air filter oil. And this filter will need some oiling. Extra servo horns. Here's a little kill switch. So this little nub piece you just stick into the exhaust pipe. It's a pretty nice and safe way to kill the buggy, and it looks like you can clip it onto your pants or your belt. Oh, and there's an antenna tube. Now we got 2 body clips here, and looks like we got some flames on the body a little bit. It's kind of an interesting design. The Lexan feels all right. Everything's pre-drilled. And here is our car. And I gotta say, it is pretty dang nice. So the whole thing is made out of plastic. It is an aluminum chassis, 3mm thick. Aluminum shock towers, but other than that, everything looks like it is made out of plastic. Now what's interesting is it definitely does look like a race platform, but it's a race platform from like yesteryear era where they used to put the battery in the back. Most competition vehicles now have the battery shifted up front. Oh, there's an aluminum steering link. And we've got an adjustable servo saver. That's kind of cool. But despite moving that battery back, it should still perform really well. And if anything, it's going to be pretty easy to drive. So the shocks actually feel pretty good. And do we have, I thought we had universals in the front. And yeah, it looks like in the front drive shafts, I don't know if you can see that, it's a captured CVD. In the rear end though, they're only dog bones. And then in the center, those are also only dog bones. And wow, look at all the fluid. Can you see how wet that clutch valve looks? I think the center diff has been leaking. So we're gonna have to clean that up a little bit. Oh, it looks like our top radio tray plate is also going to be aluminum. And notice all of the screws are Phillips screws. I notice we don't have any sway bars in the front or rear, but I believe they can be added optionally if you want to. We have an LRP pipe and manifold. The wheel nut is not serrated. Spoked wheel design. The tires are kind of hard, which is probably better if you're going to drive this in the street. It says they're VTEC Kamikaze. All right, look at that. There's Loctite on there. Now we're gonna have to go out and get our own fuel. We're gonna have to get a fuel bottle, and we need double A's. We need a glow igniter. But we do have the air filter and we have the oil. We can put those in now as well as our double A's. It's best to do this with some rubber gloves or latex gloves on. I'm just smushing. Don't want to wring it, but just smush. And then what I like to do now that I've got it in there, we want to we want to get all the excess off. So with the paper towel, I'm just going to fold. I'm going to push, smush, and roll. And you can see all the extra oil that came off there. So that's our receiver. I'm going to give the transmitter full throttle. And got a little bit too much throw in the servo. You can see on my trigger finger, I can still pull it more, and we're already all the way open. So the throttle dual rate is all the way up to 10. That's about middle. See the difference it makes. Oh, that's about perfect. We could just move this little collar closer because there's a little bit of a gap there. Just kind of make it a little bit more responsive on that bottom end. And if you want an idea of what the steering servo is like, it is a little dang slow, but should be fine to get us started. If you have a heat gun, heating around the head of the engine will be hugely beneficial, make it a lot easier. You can also just use a blow dryer. Let's give it a shot. So what happened here is the compression of the engine is so tight that the piston kind of got locked up and the pull start string did not retract. It just gets stuck out. So to fix this, you just unlock the piston. I put a flat blade screwdriver up against the flywheel and gave it a little knock, and the piston freed up and the pull start string retracted again. There we go. Come on, baby. Yeah. So it's pretty warm out here. It's probably about 95 degrees, and once we got the car fired up, she's staying running, idling, no problem. And the engine does have a low, high, and an idle needle, and they should be set to their factory settings for breaking in. The more patient we are with breaking in the engine, the more it's going to reward us in the long run for just having better performance and lasting longer. And so it's really important that we just let it break in properly, get it hot, let it cool down, get it hot, let it cool down. So she's pretty well tuned. We're gonna go bash it now. It drives really well on the road. It's easy to handle. We noticed that the brake bias is activating the rear tires, but the front tires are just kind of freewheeling. So the top linkage is for the rear, and this one's for the front. There is a lot of wiggle. Let's turn it on and see what it's doing. So when we apply the brakes, there's a little bit of slop on the front. So if we just loosen up this collet, move it closer, it's probably a few millimeters here we can move, and that'll activate our front brakes along with the rear. Still moves freely, and brakes applied, rear end locks up, front end locks up. Cool. So as you can probably tell, this track is dry, dusty, and it is loose. We are using the stock tires that came with the buggy, and they are decent in the groove of the track, but out in the fluff, I mean, they're just kind of trash. The car is pretty easy to drive out here though. It feels pretty balanced. It is not aggressive at all. There is an understeer, which is probably due to the tires. The sway bars or lack of sway bars is noticeable. There's lots of leaning, lots of body roll. And I would add sway bars if I was going to try to race this thing. The engine is also pretty dang good. It's not super powerful, but it seems really reliable. But the tuning is easy, the break-in was easy, and it seems really reliable, which is important. Overall, the $430 price tag is what makes this buggy so killer. It is one of the least expensive Nitro 8-scale buggies in its class. The worst thing I think about it is that the servos are just bottom of the barrel and just barely good enough to make it happen. So sway bars and servos would be the #1 things that I swapped out. But still, good chassis, good engine, and overall definitely recommended. So guys, go check out the LRP Rebel BX3 with our links down below. Or if you want more RC videos, check these out.